Hi there. Welcome to my new YouTube channel, Donna the Astronomer. I'm going to talk to you today about the Geminid Meteor Shower. Now, I'm not at Milroy. I'm sitting in a little bit of air-conditioned comfort because it's quite warm here in Coonabarabran. A bit of cloud in the sky tonight, but we will see what will happen. Now, the Geminids happen around this time every year. They'll peak this year on the 14th of February, which is next Friday, and the early hours of that morning on Saturday morning is a really, really good time to have a look. So meteor showers occur when comets or asteroids or similar objects go around the sun and then come back and they cross the Earth's orbit or our journey around the sun every year. And when they do that, they leave debris, and that debris is quite predictable. So we know when this is going to happen. Now, how much it is, how thick it is, where it is exactly, those are the things that make it interesting on whether it'll be a really good shower, as in there'll be a meteor storm, where like one I saw as a kid where it looked like the whole sky was falling and there were thousands of meteors over a 15-minute period. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my young life. But we can't really predict to that degree. But the Geminids is a good predictable one where things happen. So with this meteor shower, the moon won't be there. The moon will be at first quarter. As I said, it'll be setting after midnight. So if you go out early in the morning, and you don't need any special equipment. I mean, my favourite is on a backyard trampoline, just laying there because it's at that nice height so you don't have to get down on the ground, and the ants and the critters don't tend to get you as much, and the dog can't knock over your hot chocolate. But so just lay out if you've got a lilo or you've got a blanket or just something, laying out on the backyard and just looking up. And you don't have to look directly at where the stars of Gemini are, because they will appear from all over the place. Some of them will be very short and sweet, and some of them can be quite long. Over the last few nights, we've seen a collection of both already. So basically, they appear to the north just above the horizon. The two stars of Gemini are two stars that are reasonably close. They're sort of obvious. They're about the same brightness, Castor and Pollux, the Gemini twins, and they'll appear above the horizon. So that's what you're looking for, and they go in different directions. So it's not necessarily just up or down or roundabout, but that's where they appear. So what you want to do is try and find a spot in your backyard where it's dark, preferably not looking towards any lights or anything else. Obviously out here in the bush, we have a distinct advantage in that we don't have lights, and particularly in Coonabarabran, astronomy capital, with our dark sky parks and the like, we tend to be a bit better off than most. But try and find a spot where you can look to the north. You don't have any mountains or anything obstructing your view or any buildings. Hopefully your house isn't in the way, otherwise you might run and go around the front. So basically around the Sydney area, the Gemini rises above the horizons around about 10:30. If you're in Canberra, it's about 10 minutes later. In Melbourne, about a half an hour later, so about 11. Depends on where you are. If you're in Perth, it'll just be before 10 o'clock Western Standard Time. And if you're in Hobart, try about 20 past 11. So what I suggest is wait until after midnight when the moon's gone down, and go out and have a look. So it's pretty forgiving. It's not going to be exactly. The sun will be coming up about 10 past 5, so you might want to get out there before then. It's not, as the sun's coming up, it's not a very good time. So let's go over it. We'll talk a little bit about what caused them in a minute, but here's how to observe them. First, try and find a place away from any lights. Good idea, don't turn on your backlights when you go out, or your house lights. Don't use a bright torch. Find a point where you can be comfortable and looking to the north. If you're not quite sure where to look, I'll put some maps up on the Milroy Facebook page. So that's at Milroy Coonabarabran. But if that's not, then get an app. There's loads and loads of apps out there that you can hold up to the sky to actually find the stars of Gemini. Okay, so that's the first. Let your eyes adjust. So don't expect to go out and see everything straight away. As you know, that if you've gone out in the dark, you look at the sky and your eyes become adjusted and you start to see more and more. So give your eyes anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And with your phone, if you're using it, try and use it in night mode so that it's got a red screen, so that doesn't affect your light. So you want minimum lights. And I'm going to say if you're out here, definitely you need insect spray. Okay, and scan the sky. Don't just look in one place. So look around. just look up, enjoy the sky, which you'll also see at the same time. You'll see Orion overhead, the large and small Magellanic Clouds. The Southern Cross will be rising depending on how far north you are. And the sky is just really, really incredible. So enjoy it as well. I might talk a bit later in another video about how to photograph it. But now let's talk a little bit about the actual meteor shower and where it comes from and that. Okay, so the Geminids themselves are from the debris of an object called 3200 Pantheon. Now, Pantheon is a little bit different. It's not a comet like Comet Halley or Comet McNaught or the current Comet 46 Wirtanen. It's a comet that is rocky. In many ways, it's like an asteroid, but it's a lump of rock or an extinct comet, perhaps. It's got a very erratic orbit, so it's a very unusual object. So the orbit brings it close enough to the sun that it actually goes inside of Mercury's orbit. So it doesn't go around the sun per se, but it goes very close to the sun. So the comet alternatively is either baked or it's frozen, depending on how far out it is, and ultimately it leaves a large amount of debris that we pass through each year. And it's that debris that's entering and burning up in our atmosphere that we see in an annual meteor shower. Now, a lot of people call meteors shooting stars or falling stars, and realistically, they're just bits of space junk, like little bits of rock, some size of a grain of sand, some the size of your fist, and various sizes. So they're very, very distinct because they're very predictable and regular, and we know that they're going to happen. Now, the other thing is what makes them particularly unique is this rock comet. It's the object. It's the object that causes them, 32 Pantheon. And that makes it very interesting. And when you're thinking about comets, you normally think about Comet Halley and the comets with tails after them. This one doesn't have a tail. So it's just very, very interesting. So on that note, I'll leave it like that. But if you're out anytime this week, if you're around Coon, it looks like it's going to be raining later on in the week, which might cause us a bit of grief. But if you've got the chance to look out on clear skies, have a look out anytime after it gets dark. So give you time to adjust. But we've been seeing meteors from about 9:30 on throughout the night in different places. We're mainly looking to the east and the south to start with. But there is plenty to see in the sky. So mark the date, save the date. After midnight, Saturday morning, the 15th of December, for the Geminid Meteor Shower. Thanks for your time. If you've got any questions, again, check out my Facebook page at Milroy Coonabarabran. Send me a message at Aussie Stargazer on Twitter, or find me on Facebook. Otherwise, signing off for now, and send me your questions and I'll try and answer them.